Happy New Year, everyone. Here are some of the stories we have to start the year.
The Fisher House Foundation opens a second home away from home at the busy Pittsburgh VA healthcare system.
The newest VAnguard is out and is now in digital format on the web.
And Wreaths across America reached even farther and wider than ever before.
Stay with us for those stories and more, coming up on VA News.
Hello, I'm Chris Irby with the National Cemetery Administration.
And I'm Bryn McGowan with the Office of Acquisition Operations. Thanks for watching. The Pittsburgh healthcare system is one of the busiest in all of VA, with 3 medical centers in the western Pennsylvania city. One of them, the University Drive campus, recently opened a new Fisher House. The 10-bedroom home provides a place for families to stay while providing moral support to their loved ones, receiving treatment and rehabilitation in the hospital. Scott Guido sent us this story.
Our first Fisher House guest, a soft-spoken wife named Rhonda, moved into her second-floor suite just 7 days ago after spending more than a week sleeping on a couch in one of our waiting rooms.
The waiting room on very uncomfortable furniture, but yeah, I had to do that, and I didn't mind. It was something I felt close to him, and so whatever it took I had to do, I did.
Rhonda's husband Clarence, a Navy veteran, was in the ICU, and she wanted to remain close to him instead of making the 5-hour trip between Pittsburgh and their home in Ohio. The recently opened Pittsburgh Fisher House allows the family of veterans to stay close to their loved ones during their treatment. In addition to being a home away from home, it serves as a source of comfort for guests while their loved one is receiving treatment.
It will not be just about lodging. A support system will begin to take root here. A support system that will give families a shoulder to lean on if they need it. A chance to share the joy of a good day when they have them. All while making them better and more effective caregivers at the same time.
It's really an opportunity for families to come together, to work together as a team, and really bond and support each other.
The Fisher House program was started by Zachary and Elizabeth Fisher to provide temporary housing for family members of veterans and service members receiving treatment at military and VA medical centers. The newest Fisher House has 10 private guest suites and 9,500 total square feet of living space. The house has a communal living setting which includes a formal living room, dining room, spacious kitchen, and a family room. The family room opens up to a generous patio which has a spectacular view of downtown Pittsburgh. From the ornate chandeliers to the Pittsburgh-centric artwork, the house is full of those little touches which make the Fisher House a home. A home, Rhonda says, that is definitely needed for those caring for loved ones.
It's a blessing from God, that's for sure, because I know there's a lot of people out there in the same situation that I am in, and hopefully they will hear about this. I will certainly tell everyone that I can possibly tell about this, and to be close to their loved ones it's just, I'm just at a loss of words. It's just amazing.
The final VAnguard for 2012 is now available in print and online. The edition is also the first completely digital online version of the award-winning Employee magazine. Here's editor Lisa Gegler with a preview.
That's right, Chris. We've been working to publish the fully digital version of VAnguard for more than a year and are proud to announce it's up and running. In this edition, we pay tribute to veterans and Veterans Day with the cover photo at Arlington National Cemetery by Robert Tertill. We have the second of a 3-part series celebrating women's health programs and advocating for women veterans. We take a look at Riverside National Cemetery, now the busiest in the VA system. The cemetery near Los Angeles buries an average of 35 veterans each day. we tell you how the Houston VA Regional Office is testing a pilot program on easing service members' transition to civilian life. In reducing the federal footprint, we show you how planned moves of offices at VA headquarters will eventually save millions of dollars. We have a feature on Dr. Andrew Shalley, the Nobel Prize-winning cancer researcher, and a celebration in Miami of his 50th year at VA. You'll see how a group of Texas VA employees is brightening the lives of veterans at the Temple VA Medical Center. We introduce you to Joey Carpenter and his mom Elizabeth, recipients of VA's 20 millionth home loan guarantee. We tell you about history-making Team Mercury, an all-woman veteran team at VA's Summer Sports Clinic. And finally, read how VA and Wounded Warrior Project employees help teach disabled veterans to kayak and sail in the second annual Heroes on the Hudson. Of course, we've got news in all the regular departments, including news you can use, around headquarters, introducing, medical advances, have you heard, honors, and heroes. You can pick up a copy at your VA facility. It's also available online at the address on the screen. If you have any story ideas, call me at 202-461-7427 or email me at vanguard@va.gov.
Remember, honor, teach. That is the mission of Wreaths across America, born 20 years ago when the Worcester Wreath Company in Maine had a surplus of wreaths after the holidays. Those wreaths were placed on graves at Arlington National Cemetery.
With a national network of volunteers in the U.S. and beyond, last year more than 220,000 wreaths were placed at graves in some 550 locations, including Arlington, the Pearl Harbor Memorial, Bunker Hill, Valley Forge, the sites of the 9/11 tragedies, and every national cemetery. Here's American veteran producer George Dwyer at Arlington National Cemetery with a story about this year's Wreaths Across America.
In just over 2 decades, it has become an established seasonal tradition. Trucks arriving at Arlington National Cemetery bearing thousands of memorial wreaths for an event of honor and remembrance. More than 20,000 volunteers are on hand to lay memorial wreaths across the entire expanse of the cemetery. One group, the Maryland wing of the Civil Air Patrol, has sent an honor guard for the event. Michael DiMercurio is cadet captain for the unit.
When you're here honoring these veterans, these soldiers who have died for the United States, it's an incredible honor to be able to come here in uniform and do them a service that they truly deserve.
2012 marks the 21st consecutive year of this event, and in Arlington's Section 60, a place where soldiers from America's most recent conflicts are laid to rest, a solemn ceremony unfolds. The project's 1 millionth wreath is laid by the current president of the American Gold Star Mothers, Mary Byers.
It's heartening to see the patriotism that our country still has, and we don't see that every day.
Many of those at Arlington Cemetery placed wreaths against headstones of veterans they never knew. Others come with a more personal connection. Here, Major General Charles Carr, National Commander for the Civil Air Patrol, honors the memory of his predecessor, legendary Army and Air Force General Henry Hap Arnold.
And I certainly hope that we are living up to his dreams, in which he had high hopes for when we got started.
Freeze and hoot!
On this day, it is easy to believe that they are, but it is also inspiring to see the civilian support at this event.
And I love how many people besides Civil Air Patrol come out to support this event, to support our fallen troops.
The ceremonies at Arlington are part of a larger, coordinated effort by Wreaths Across America. 20 years ago, that project began here. Today, the project oversees the laying of remembrance wreaths on the headstones of our nation's fallen military in all 50 states and at hundreds of sites overseas. This year, nearly 200,000 volunteers placed some 420,000 memorial wreaths in celebration of National Wreaths Across America Day.
Strong Song at the Broken Places, a multimedia project on the VA internet pages, remains on the VA web pages. We encourage you to check it out at the address on the screen. Here is another of the 12 veterans interviewed for the project.
Once I started working, started getting back into the role of things, it was pretty good, but then I got deployment orders again for 6 months after I had just returned. And as National Guard, that was a lot because I wasn't ready. So I needed to figure something out. I fought it. Unfortunately, I got out because of a shoulder injury, but I also realized I needed some counseling. So I went to the VA. I started talking to other veterans, talking about my experiences, and all that kind of just helped me get through it. I think this project's important to break down barriers between civilians and the stigma they have against veterans. Is just making them realize we're normal. You wouldn't notice me walking down the street. I'm not gonna start screaming at you. There's nothing about me that says veteran. So they walk among you. You don't notice them because they're just like you. They may have different experiences, but they are fully capable of functioning just the way you are.
Former Navy Lieutenant John Ennis is the subject of the December-January edition of Still Serving, our program about former members of the armed forces who continue to help veterans. Ennis has transitioned into a civilian career, but he has participated in writing a best-selling novel to raise money for veterans' causes, and he serves on the board for a group that flies families to be with their loved ones while they recover from the wounds of war. Here's a quick peek.
Volunteering for veterans seems not only like the logical choice for me to do as one and knowing so many of them across my time in the military. It was something that I knew needed to be done. I think that if there are any causes out there, particularly in this country, that require and really elicit an emotional response from the American people, it's veterans care. There are no folks out there in any profession in America that answer the call more presciently, that do more for the freedoms and democracy of the United States than military servicemen and women. And we owe them the same level of care and concern that they put into their jobs to protect us, to facilitate a more easy transition when they get home, whether they're wounded or not, whether service members have been killed and it's assisting their families. There's so much that we can do for veterans, and I just wanted to be a small part of that.
The December-January edition of Still Serving is available for viewing now. Still Serving can be found on the VA homepage. Just click on Media Room, then Video. You can also watch it on the VA YouTube page, VA's Knowledge Network, the Content Distribution Network, and the Pentagon Channel.
Did you know? Nobel laureate Andrew Shalley, a research scientist at the Miami VA healthcare system, recently celebrated 50 years of service with the VA. Shalley won the 1977 Nobel Prize in Medicine for his breakthrough work considered the foundation of modern endocrinology, and believes he's hot on the trail of compounds that will revolutionize cancer treatments. Shalley joined the VA in 1962, has authored or co-authored over 2,300 research publications, and although well into his 80s, shows no signs of slowing down. Shalley relocated to Miami after Hurricane Katrina disrupted his work in New Orleans. Dr. Joel Coopersmith, Chief of VA Research and Development, helped Miami VA employees celebrate Shalley's golden anniversary. That's all we have for this week's VA News. I'm Bryn McGowan.
And I'm Chris Irby. Have a great day and a happy January.